And you're watching Updates at Noon. I'm Brendan Lepal. The Royal Malaysian Customs Department busted an international drug trafficking syndicate after seizing 51.36 kilograms of methamphetamine worth almost 1.7 million ringgit at a warehouse in Port Klang on 4th September. Customs Assistant Director General Enforcement Ridwan Abdullah said the department confiscated 6 boxes, 5 filled with clear packs containing the suspected drugs during the 12:45 p.m. raid.
Modus operandi dalam kes ini adalah bagi mengaburi pihak berkuasa dagangan yang mengandungi sebanyak 338 plastik luksina yang berisi bahan dadah telah disorok di dalam 72 gelung pahit. Ada 72 gelung pahit. Dagangan ini telah diikrar sebagai pahit getah bertekanan tinggi. Berdasarkan berat dadah yang diperolehi, dadah ini boleh diedar kepada seramai 256,800 orang penagih dadah.
Further investigations revealed that the smuggled goods would be exported to Australia via sea routes, and the exporters would use a fake company to avoid arrests. He said that the Customs Department had foiled 17 smuggling attempts to Australia this year. The case would be investigated under Section 39B, Subsection 1, Subsection A of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Religious Affairs, Dr. Muhammad Naim Mokhtar has advised Muslims to ensure restaurants they go to, dine or get their food have halal status issued by the Department of Islamic Development Malaysia or JAKIM. He said this in response to a recent viral video regarding the halal status of a chicken rice clay pot dish which used rice wine sold at the premises in Seri Petaling.
Pemilik restoran tersebut adalah bukan pemegang sijil halal Malaysia yang dikeluarkan oleh mana-mana badan yang berautoriti. Makanan ini sangat penting sebab benda yang kita makan tu kalau tidak halal dia akan membentuk darah daging kita. Jadi lebih baiklah untuk kita lebih bersifat dan bersikap berhati-hati.
Dr. Naim also advised Muslims to surf the Halal Malaysia official portal at halal.gov.my or download the Verify Halal application to enable them to know whether a restaurant has been issued with a halal certificate or not. In other news, initial investigations have indicated that underground water seepage caused a fill slope to fail, resulting in road cracks along kilometre 118.2 and kilometre 117.8 of the westbound East Coast Expressway Phase 1 in Temerloh. The expressway operator, Ani Berhad, said that the company, along with consultants, were conducting a detailed study to identify the real cause behind the incident at the flood mitigation project being implemented at location. In a statement, Ani Berhad said there is no new movement recorded in the vicinity of the incident, but the company, with the assistance of the contractor, have placed settlement markers to continue monitoring of the current situation. It said repair work will be conducted immediately by the contractor as soon as a comprehensive site investigation is completed and a suggested adequate remedial measure is forwarded by the consulting engineer. The expressway operator had previously confirmed the incident that caused a contra lane to be activated from kilometre 116.5 to kilometre 119.4 from 4:15 p.m. on Sunday. The cracks are believed to have happened on the same day, but there was no untoward incidents resulting from it. The operation of Starlink in Malaysia is in line with the international framework. The Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, said it relies on the framework provided by the International Telecommunication Union, or ITU, specifically the ITU radio regulations, when making decisions related to spectrum allocation and interference management. Elaborating further in a statement, MCMC said satellite services are inherently global and the radio regulations provide a global framework for coordinating and regulating the services. The MCMC was responding to a recent report via tech portal regarding the concerns and issues raised on potential interference to existing telecommunication services and the coexistence study pertaining to Starlink. According to MCMC to date, there have been no complaints of interference. The Commission said that in the event of any interference, it will be addressed through existing interference resolution, according to national and international frameworks. The statement said Starlink has been granted Malaysia digital status, allowing it to operate in the country with its current ownership status. And with just several days to go, final preparations involving logistics, security, culture and entertainment for the 60th Malaysia Day celebration to be held at the Stadium Perpaduan in Kuching are in full swing. Sarawak Utilities and Telecommunications Minister Dato' Julaihi Narawi said diversity would be the main highlight in this year's celebration. Dato' Julaihi said that through this celebration, Sarawak can continue to be a reference in shaping and boosting the spirit of unity among the people of various races in Malaysia.
Tepat sekali lah apabila dikatakan segulai sejalai bermaksud kita boleh bercampur gaul, hidup dalam suasana aman, damai, harmoni, tetapi kita pada masa yang sama dapat bergerak sehaluan, tidak mempunyai perbezaan untuk menjejaskan usaha pembangunan negara pada hari ini untuk tahap pembangunan yang lebih baik lagi di masa yang akan datang.
Dato' Julaihi also confirmed that Acting Yang di-Pertuan Negeri of Sarawak, Tan Sri Muhammad Asfia Awang Nasa, will be the main guest of honour at the celebration, which will be attended by Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim and his wife Dato' Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail. Theme Malaysia Madani Tekap Perpaduan Penuhi Harapan. The Malaysia Day celebration this year is scheduled to start with a pre-performance at 7 p.m. before the official event kicks off at 8:30 p.m. Bursa Malaysia opened easier today amid a mixed regional performance. At 9:14 a.m., the Bursa Malaysia KLCI fell 2.07 points to 1,452.97 from 1,455.04 at yesterday's close, following our Bursa Malaysia's 6 most active counters today. After a quick break, and when we come back, Colombia sets new world record for cooking production. Stay tuned.
Dapatkan penghantaran dan pulangan percuma serta tawaran hebat fashion dan kecantikan di Shopee Hari Fashion Hebat.
Foreign front, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un left Pyongyang on Sunday afternoon for Russia. On his private train, state media KCNA reported that he was on his way for a rare summit with President Vladimir Putin. Kim was accompanied by top government officials, including military personnel. Photos released by state media showed military honor guards and crowds of people in dark suits and colorful dresses waving flowers and flags as he boarded the dark green train, which is believed to be armored and carry other specialized equipment. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov, in a video posted online, said Kim's trip to Russia and meeting with Putin will be a full-scale visit. According to Peskov, the main topic of the talks will be relations between the neighboring countries. The confirmation from North Korea ends days of speculation after the US and other officials said recently that Kim, who rarely leaves North Korea, was likely to head to Vladivostok for arms talks with Putin. Kim has not traveled outside the north since the start of the coronavirus pandemic. Moscow, a historical ally of Pyongyang, was a crucial backer of the isolated country for decades, and their ties go back to the founding of North Korea 75 years ago. Britain, through its intelligence and services, said Russia's military targeted a civilian cargo ship in the Black Sea with multiple missiles last month, but they were successfully intercepted by Ukrainian forces. A vessel in Russia's Black Sea fleet fired the missiles, which included 2 caliber cruise missiles, towards the southern Ukrainian port of Odessa on 24th August. According to the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, the declassified intelligence has revealed that the intended target was a Liberian flag cargo ship berthed in Odessa. It added Ukrainian air defenses thwarted the attack on the civilian vessel, with neither of the caliber missiles hitting the target. The FCDO said, despite its failure, this is a clear demonstration of Russia's continuing attempts to choke Ukraine's economy. The Black Sea has become increasingly contested after Russia, in July, pulled out of a UN and Turkey brokered grain deal, which aimed to ensure safe navigation for civilian ships. Moscow has since repeatedly attacked Ukraine's port infrastructure in what Kyiv says is a cynical attempt to damage its exports and undermine global food security. Colombia, the world's biggest cocaine producer, set a new record last year for the manufacture of the drug and cultivation of the coca leaf. A United Nations report on Monday revealed that coca leaf cultivation was 13% higher last year than in 2021, while cocaine production rose from 1,400 tons to 1,738. The UN Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC, said these were the highest numbers since the UN started monitoring in 2001. Most Colombian cocaine is destined for the United States and Europe. Coca leaf production now spreads over 230,000 hectares in the country. Around half of Colombia's drug crops are found in indigenous reserves, forest reserves and natural parks, according to the report. The new number came out a day after Colombia's first ever leftist president, Gustavo Petro, and his Mexican counterpart, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, criticized the failed US-led so-called war on drugs. The campaign has benefited only drug cartels and fueled violence, without addressing the root causes of crime such as poverty and unemployment. The president added, Mexico were the biggest victims of the American-led war, which has criminalized and impoverished many rural people. As an intense manhunt for an escaped killer entered its 11th day, Pennsylvania authorities on Sunday released security camera pictures showing the man had slipped through a search perimeter and changed his look. Danilo Cavalcante's escape from the Chester County prison in the northeastern U.S. state sparked a huge search, with hundreds of law enforcement officers as well as helicopters, drones and search dogs out in force. Photos released Sunday showed the 34-year-old Brazilian national was no longer sporting the dark beard and mustache seen in his original wanted poster. Authorities posted for pictures of Cavalcante, all apparently taken by a door-mounted camera as he stood or sat on a house porch. Police said the convicted murderer had reportedly been seen overnight near the town of Phoenixville, about 32 kilometers north of the prison. Phoenixville is a town where Cavalcante killed his girlfriend, Deborah Brandau, in April 2021. Authorities had previously said that Brandau's relatives in the area were under 24-hour protection. On Wednesday, prison officials released a video showing how Cavalcante, who was sentenced to life in prison for the murder of his girlfriend, was able to make his escape. An American caver who was trapped more than 1,000 meters underground in southern Turkey after falling ill was rescued early on Tuesday after days-long international rescue operation. Mark Dickey, 40, was on international exploration mission in the Morja cave in Taurus Mountains when he reportedly began suffering from gastrointestinal bleeding at a depth of 1,040 meters. Italian rescuers said Dicky was taken to the medical tent at the camp for checks. More than 150 rescuers from Turkey, Croatia, Italy and other countries worked for 9 days to rescue him from the country's third deepest cave. Footage from previous phases of the operation showed Dicky lying inside the cave and receiving treatment by a medical team. Footage also showed other teams moving down the caves with ropes and making their way through narrow passages. Dicky is an instructor with the National Cave Rescue Commission, where he has worked for 10 years, a non-profit for cavers founded by Dicky. He is also a medical commission secretary at the European Cave Rescue Association and the executive director at Caving Academy. Deadly storm winds and heavy floods hit Libya over the past 2 days, with estimates of fatalities ranging from hundreds to thousands of people. The head of Libya's eastern government, Osama Hamad, said more than 2,000 people had died in the coastal city of Derna, and thousands more were missing. The Libyan Al-Masar TV ran a statement by the spokesman for the Libyan National Army NLA, Ahmed Mismari, also saying there were more than 2,000 victims in Derna. The head of the Red Crescent aid group in the region said Derna's toll was expected to hit 250. Hamad did not give a source for his data, and it is not possible to verify the figures in a country politically split east and west, with two rival administrations where public services have crumbled since the 2011 NATO-backed uprising. Storm Daniel swept in over the Mediterranean on Sunday, swamping roads and destroying buildings in Derna and hitting other settlements along the coast, including Libya's second biggest city of Benghazi. US President Joe Biden on Monday called for Americans to unite despite bitter political differences as the United States marked the 22nd anniversary of 9/11 attacks. Bells were rung and the names of nearly 3,000 people were read out in somber ceremonies in New York, Washington and Pennsylvania, where the hijacked planes struck.
Let us honor September 11th by renewing our faith in one another. Let us remember who we are as a nation. We never forget. We're never afraid. We endure. We overcome. We are the United States of America. And there is nothing, literally, historically, nothing has been beyond our capacity when we set our mind to it together.
His speech comes as the United States is increasingly polarized, with tensions likely to increase as Biden, a Democrat, heads into a likely election rematch next year with Republican former President Donald Trump. Trump has been indicted 4 times since April, including for efforts to overturn the 2020 election results, with the 6 January 2021 Capitol attack by supporters still fresh in the public's memory. Chile marked 50 years since the coup d'etat that brought Augusto Pinochet to power, with political divisions over the legacy of his brutal dictatorship on stark display. Commemorations of the violent US-backed ouster of Marxist leader Salvador Allende still evoke strong emotions, and police fired tear gas and water cannon at protesters who vandalized the presidency on the anniversary's eve. Leftist President Gabriel Boric led an event to mark the historic date and stressed the need to condemn those who violate human rights without any nuance. Boric said the coup cannot be separated from what came after, referring to the 17-year Pinochet dictatorship under which more than 3,200 people were killed or disappeared and tens of thousands tortured. The far-right UDI party issued a statement Monday defending the coup as inevitable due to the failures of Allende's political left. The presidents of Mexico, Colombia, Bolivia and Uruguay were in Santiago to attend the emotional ceremony. The 1973 coup, in a country seen until then as a bastion of democracy and stability in Latin America, reverberated around the world and underscored covert interference by the United States. And in sports, Pogba suspended after testing positive for banned substance. Stay with us. Ahead of the 2022 Asian Games in Hangzhou, China, this 23rd September, the Malaysian contingent has come up with a new approach by targeting 27 medals at the event, without disclosing which medals they are aiming for. According to the Malaysian chef de mission, Datuk Chong Kim Fat, the national contingent will be banking on diving, badminton, track cycling, equestrian, hockey, karate, archery, athletics, sailing, sepak takraw, squash, wushu and e-sports to deliver the medals.
Keputusan mengumumkan sasaran pingat keseluruhan ini dibuat selepas mengambil kira pandangan semua pihak termasuk wakil dari Universiti Sains Sukan Nippon NSSU yang berkongsi kepakaran bersama dengan pihak Majlis Sukan Negara juga merasakan sasaran pingat emas sahaja akan memberikan tekanan berlebihan kepada atlet negara.
This is the first time that the national contingent will be using the overall medals target approach. In the meantime, Olympic Council of Malaysia, OCM, is positive that the national contingent will be able to achieve the 27 medals target set. Its Secretary General, Dato' Nasifuddin Najib, said this new target approach is realistic and achievable.
I think for the contingent, based daripada bengkel yang kita dah buat dan perbincangan, 27 tu reasonable, something yang kita boleh achieve. Kita kena ingat yang 27 ni kita dah sampai tahap tu, dan kita harap dengan kita buat keputusan ni, atlet tak rasa pressure dan dia akan overachieve.
In 2018, Jakarta Palembang Asian Games, Malaysia set a 7-goal target and managed to return home with 36 medals, 7 golds, 13 silvers and 16 bronzes. He was met at the handover ceremony of the Jalur Gemilang to Datuk Chong Kim Fat, an Asian Paragames chef de mission, KM Rajendran, by the Prime Minister's wife, Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Aziza Wan Ismail. Also present were Youth and Sports Minister Hannah Yeoh, OCM President Tan Sri Muhammad Noruza Zakaria, and Paralympic Council of Malaysia PCM President Datuk Sri Megat D. Shariman Zaharuddin. Moving on to football, Juventus France midfielder Paul Pogba has been provisionally suspended after testing positive for a banned substance. Italy's National Anti-Doping Nado Italia Tribunal on Monday said the test, which was performed after Juve's 3-0 Serie A season-opening victory at Udinese on 20th August, detected testosterone, a hormone that increases athletes' endurance. The tribunal said Pogba had violated anti-doping rules when they found the prohibited substance, non-endogenous testosterone metabolites, adding that the results were consistent with the exogenous origin of the target compounds. The 30-year-old Pogba was an unused substitute in the win at Udinese. Juventus said they had been informed of the provisional suspension and were evaluating the next steps. If found guilty of doping, Pogba could be suspended for between 2 and 4 years, with his contract with Juve expires in June 2026. Pogba has had a torrid second spell with Juve due to injuries since he returned to the Turin-based club following his departure from Manchester United on a free transfer last year. The 2018 World Cup winner barely played last season due to knee and hamstring injuries as well as knee surgery, which prevented him playing for France at the World Cup in Qatar. Germany's national team director Rudi Völler said he will not be a candidate to succeed Sept coach Hansi Flick, despite taking over for Tuesday's friendly against France. Völler, Germany's former World Cup winning player who also coached the national team from 2000 to 2004, said he had stepped in for one match to help the side until a new coach is found.
Wir haben natürlich auch schon, ist doch klar, jetzt als dann feststellen, dass wir uns von Hansi trennen, das sind natürlich schon einige Namen dann erstmal in der Dreierdiskussion, aber ich habe auch schon mit einigen Mitgliedern der Taskforce gesprochen. Natürlich gibt es Namen, die absolut in Frage kommen, Aber das habe ich natürlich in diesem Leben, in diesem Geschäft gelernt. Bevor ich jetzt irgendeinen Namen hier kommentiere, dann lasse ich das bleiben. Aber wir machen uns natürlich Gedanken und ich bin da fest von überzeugt, dass es wichtig ist, dann schon in 3,5 Wochen dann den richtigen zu präsentieren. Also wir arbeiten dran. Ne? Klar, im Moment haben wir morgen noch ein schweres Länderspiel vor uns, aber wir sind permanent in Kontakt.
Flick was sacked a day after Saturday's 4-1 home loss to Japan, and following a disappointing 2-year stint, with Germany preparing to host Euro 2024 in 9 months' time. Under Flick, who in 2020 had won 6 titles with Bayern Munich, Germany crashed out of the World Cup in the first round last year and won just 4 of their last 17 matches. Spanish Football Federation chief Luis Rubiales quit his post on Sunday after 3 weeks of scandal over allegation he gave an unsolicited kiss to a player on the women's national team as they celebrated their World Cup victory last month. Rubiales announced his resignation in a statement in which he said his position had become untenable, with the Spanish Football Federation RFEF later confirming that he had sent a resignation letter to acting president Pedro Rocha. His kiss of player Jenny Hermoso after the World Cup win in Sydney on 20th August had caused outrage among players, government officials and many in wider Spanish society, and raised questions over sexism in sport. His decision to go came after further blows to his position in the last few days. A Spanish prosecutor filed a complaint with the High Court against Rubiales on Friday for sexual assault and coercion. The complaint, which came after Hermoso opted earlier in the week to lodge a criminal complaint over the incident. Rubiales had also been suspended for 3 months from all football activities by FIFA, pending an investigation by the football's world governing body into his actions. He said he had also stepped down as vice president of the European Football Association, UEFA. And in tennis, Novak Djokovic has no intention of passing the torch to the next generation just yet, as the 36-year-old Serb proving age is just a number by becoming the oldest man in the Open era to hoist the US Open trophy on Sunday. With Roger Federer retired and the frequently injured Rafa Nadal ready to call it quits after next season, the days of the big three are long gone. But Djokovic, the final member of the triumvirate, reminded fans in New York that he is far from finished.
I wouldn't say probably it was easy. Easier comparing to what exactly, we don't know, because I don't think too many players were in that position, but yeah, I guess people love comeback stories. I love them too. You know, they motivate me. I haven't played any tournament on American soil for 2 years, and the last time I was here, I lost in the finals against the same player I beat today. And you know, I really did my best in the last 48 hours not to allow the importance of the moment and what's on the line get to my head. Because 2 years ago, that's what happened, and I underperformed, and I wasn't able to be at my best, and I was outplayed. So I learned my lesson.
Wrapping up our bulletin today with a reminder of the top story this afternoon. Custom Department seizes 1.7 million ringgit worth of meth in a raid. Do join us again tonight at 8:30 p.m. on TV1 and saluran Berita RTM for more. Till then, I'm Bernal Paul. Malaysia Madani, cekap perpaduan penuhi harapan. Take care.